What kind of father locks his daughter in a basement for 20 years? Hey, it's Susan from Ladies First, and today we're talking about Girl in the Basement, the 2021 Lifetime movie that left viewers shocked, disturbed, and asking if it could possibly be true. Inspired by the unimaginable real-life case of Elisabeth Fritzl, Girl in the Basement is not just a horror story, it's a survival story. This video will examine how the film dramatizes long-term captivity and psychological abuse while honoring the survivor's resilience. We'll also explore the terrifying power of silence in abusive households and the systems that failed her. Girl in the Basement is a fictionalized take, but the bones of the story come from a real and disturbing case that shook the world in 2008. In Austria, Elisabeth Fritzl was held captive for 24 years in a hidden cellar by her father, Josef Fritzl. He locked her away at age 18 and told his wife and the authorities that Elisabeth had run away to join a cult. Over the years, he fathered 7 children with her, 3 of whom were raised upstairs by Fritzl and his wife, and 3 who remained imprisoned with Elisabeth. This is where the Girl in the Basement gets its premise: a teen girl trapped in a nightmare that no one else knows exists, right beneath the floorboards of a normal family home. The reality was, if anything, even more horrifying. Josef Fritzl designed his underground prison with chilling precision. It was soundproof, maze-like, and reinforced with multiple security doors. For years, Elisabeth and her children lived without sunlight, education, or freedom, cut off from the world just a few meters below it. The Lifetime adaptation changes the names. Elisabeth becomes Sarah, Josef becomes Don, but the bones of the trauma remain. Don, like Josef, is a master manipulator with a public image as a hard-working family man. At home, he's emotionally abusive and controlling. Sarah is portrayed as your typical rebellious teen, dreaming of independence and romance, planning to travel and escape her father's stifling grip. But Dawn, unable to tolerate her growing autonomy, lures her into the basement with a seemingly innocent request, then locks her in. From here, the film escalates into a terrifying portrait of control, isolation, and power. We see the passage of time through milestone days, her first night, her first child, her desperate birthdays, the moments she claws at hope only to be met with cruelty. What Girl in the Basement does effectively is translate psychological abuse into physical space. The bomb shelter isn't just a prison, it's a manifestation of Don's need to dominate, silence, and erase his daughter's autonomy. Abuse often thrives in silence. Don's control is not just physical, it's emotional and psychological. He manipulates Sarah into compliance with small privileges: a clock, a TV, a birthday cake. His cruelty is calculated. He gives just enough hope to keep her alive, but not enough for her to truly rebel. Sarah survives by adapting. She reads parenting books, teaches her children as best she can, and mentally revisits the love she once felt with her boyfriend Chris to remind herself that kindness still exists somewhere. This mirrors what we know from real survivors. Many adapt to horrific conditions through mental compartmentalization, by clinging to hope, and by reclaiming small pieces of agency wherever possible. Tara's strength is not in her physical resistance, it's in her endurance, in how she builds a life for her children, tries to educate them, protects them from the worst parts of their reality, and finally finds a way to signal for help. One of the most heartbreaking parts of Girl in the Basement is not what Don does, but what everyone around him fails to do. Renee, Sarah's mother, believes her daughter ran away. Don's lies go unchallenged even when Chris tries to push back. Police shrug off the case once Sarah is 18, assuming she simply chose to disappear. Amy, the younger sister, begins to suspect, but even she is gaslit into silence. It reflects a brutal truth. In many cases of abuse, perpetrators rely on the social assumption that fathers protect daughters. Dawn weaponizes that trust. The film shows how easily abusive men can hide behind patriarchal norms and public reputations. Josef Fritzl did the same. He told anyone who asked that Elisabeth Elisabeth had abandoned her family. He even forged letters from her. No one asked too many questions. Because of that silence, because of that assumption of innocence, Elisabeth stayed locked away for more than 2 decades. In the final act, Sarah manages to escape, not by force, but by outsmarting Don during a hospital visit. It's a moment that echoes Elisabeth Fritzl's real escape, which happened when one of her children needed urgent medical care, and the hospital staff started asking the right questions. When Sarah tells the doctor the truth, it's a shattering moment of release, not just for her, but for us. She has lived almost 2 decades underground. She missed her 20s, her dreams, the milestones of normal life, but she never stopped being a mother, a fighter, or a believer in her own right to live freely. The film ends with a simple picnic and motorcycle ride echoing Sarah's teenage dreams with Chris. It's poetic, almost too soft for what she's endured, but it's also necessary because survivors are more than their trauma. They deserve love, freedom, and joy. Let's be clear, Girl in the Basement is not easy to watch. It's not meant to be, but it plays a crucial role in spotlighting the darkest corners of familial abuse, especially those that happen in homes that look normal from the outside. This isn't just about Josef Fritzl or Don. It's about the children who run away because home is worse, the girls who aren't believed, the women whose stories are too much for public conversation. By dramatizing one of the most infamous real-life captivity cases in modern history, Girl in the Basement reminds us how important it is to believe survivors, challenge abusive power dynamics, and ask the questions that feel too uncomfortable to ask. Because silence isn't neutral, it's complicit. What do you think the film got right or wrong about surviving trauma and abuse? And how do you think we can better protect those whose cries for help go unheard? If you believe in amplifying stories of female resilience and challenging abuse in all its forms, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Ladies First.